Hey guys, so welcome to my hip mobility assessment. My name is Albus. We're going to get started in a standing position for your hip mobility assessment. What I suggest is that you are near a wall where you can put your hand on a wall, or you can have one or two dowels out in front of you for stability purposes. Let's get started. Here we have the first setup. We're gonna make sure that the hand is firmly implanted on the wall. We're gonna sniff some air into the stomach and go into hip flexion. So hip flexion, once you go into this hip flexion, make sure that you don't run into any pain or pinching points. At any point you run into any pain or pinching point, I want you to either lower the leg and try to perform these external rotation movements and see and feel the feedback that your hip is giving you while you're going in through your external rotation. Here I'm doing the opposite side. Same thing, I'm bringing that leg up into a point of hip flexion, and then I'm going into external rotation, really nice and slow. Give me a nice 1 or 2 second pause at the end of that external rotation and keep that cadence nice and slow. Here we have the same type of setup. My hand is against the wall. I'm sniffing some air into the stomach, and then now I'm going into internal rotation. I want you to take it really nice and slow as you go through internal rotation, both forms of rotation. Really nice and slow, trying to give me a pause at your end range. Try not to overdo it. That's why I want you to go slow, so that way I can see what's going on at each hip and I can tell the difference between one side and the other. Again, when you're going through your ranges of motion, I want you to make sure that you are not going into any points of pain or pinching. I want you to stop short of that. And if you can't perform it at all, then just give it a try, but then bring the leg back down, and I'll know that you weren't able to perform internal rotation or external rotation from this position. Here, what we're gonna take a look at is hip flexion. So I want you to lay down on the ground or on your mat and put both feet up against the wall. Keep both legs really nice and straight, both palms on the ground. And as you elevate one leg, you're going to try to keep both legs as straight as possible. Keep both toes pointed up towards the ceiling and try not to deviate from that as you go into hip flexion. Really nice and slow, trying to pause at the top of the movement if you can, trying not to let the legs, the knees bend at all from this position. And the same goes from the other side, or for the other side. You're going to try to keep both legs straight. Really nice slow cadence. Keep those palms down on the ground, pressing into the ground, and try to keep your stomach tight as you're going through hip flexion here. Really focusing on a nice slow cadence. All right, so moving on from that, we're going into hip flexion from a knees bent position. So here we're going to try to bend the knee into a 90-degree angle as you drive the knee towards the chest, and the opposite leg is going to remain straight. And the key here is the reason why my feet are against the wall, or that left foot is against the wall, is because I want the feedback of that foot driving into the wall, so that way there aren't any compensation points. This will kind of let me know what kind of compensation points might pop up during this assessment. Again, this is driving the knee towards the chest, keeping the opposite leg nice and straight, slow cadence, pause at the end range, and bring it back to that starting position. Hey guys, so you just completed your hip mobility assessment. You've just recorded it. You've sent it over to me. I'm taking a look at it now, and I'll be able to discuss some strategies with you to figure out how we can implement some of this information and find good options for us to start training together, whether it be one-on-one or in a group setting. So, looking forward to working with you. Take care.